Dear Netflix and Amazon, I am just a simple, passionate anime fan, but today I bring the sentiments of many of our community at large, and we have a bone to pick with the services you provide when streaming anime online. I am not the first to talk about this or make the points I am about to make, and I doubt I will be the last either, but I wanted to lay down as short and concise a message as I could for each of you, with constructive criticisms that I and many of us in the anime community share towards your services, how you can improve them, and why you should care. Because I don't think the problem comes from bad business practices, but more stems from the both of you stepping into a new market which you may not fully understand yet, and bringing the models you have used previously thinking that it will be just as effective here, which is why I wanted to address you directly. Let's start with you, Netflix, which, if by luck anyone from Amazon is watching this, feel free to skip to the timestamp shown on screen for that segment. Now, Netflix, the problem we have with your service is very simple and easy to fix, so let me lay this out in a single sentence. Please simulcast the anime that you license. I have a huge respect for what you've done and how you've revolutionized the online streaming platform and how we consume media in this modern day. And you've obviously taken big strides to help grow and become an actual part of the anime industry. Releasing your Netflix original shows by each season at once was incredibly forward thinking that ties in with modern binge watching culture. But this model simply does not work for currently airing anime that you license. And there are two main reasons for this. Number one, piracy. At the moment, the only competitor you have against the anime that you license is the pirate streaming sites and torrents. And they will always win because they are the only service available when these shows are airing. I trust that you, of all companies, will understand people won't be deterred from piracy just because there is no legal option available. If fans really want to watch a show, even hardcore ones will turn to piracy because you are holding on to anime for months after they air. And this is true for every community. Imagine, if you will, that you had the rights to a show like Game of Thrones, and while it was airing, you held on to it until the season ended. Can you imagine how many more millions of people would turn to piracy to see the show just because they know it's out but not available through any legal means? You release some of your American shows weekly to combat this problem anyway, and the same theory should apply to the anime community. Simulcasting doesn't seem to be an issue for your Japanese division, which is putting the episodes up as they air, so why is this not the case internationally? I'm sure you have the resources needed to be able to subtitle them on time, and if you don't, it's something that would be a low investment for a high return. Number two, it kills the possible reach of the show that you license in our community. This may be a bit harder to comprehend at first, but the anime community works a bit differently than other audiences you are used to. In terms of our entertainment, we move on a lot faster just because of the sheer number of new shows available to us every season. We can get up to 40 new shows every 3 months. Now, only a few of those shows will actually get popular, but because of the seasonal cycle, the shelf life of a show is very low. Any show, no matter how popular it is, Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, loses momentum very quickly after they stop airing because the community are focusing on the new shows in the new season. And just because you hold on to a show doesn't mean people will wait for it. A lot of people will just more likely watch something else that season. Shows get popular fast because we love to discuss them, and way more than other mediums, popularity spreads through word of mouth of the fans and the communities. And this makes sense because no mainstream media outlet regularly covers anime shows, and if they do, it's because we've made enough of a noise about it as we are still a niche community. These are our water cooler discussions, and what you have done by keeping your shows is allow other shows to be discussed around that water cooler, and because of this, the anime that you license will never and have never had the same reach that they could have had. Little Witch Academia had bundles of hype when it was announced, which has never properly been met even after you've released the first half now a good 2 seasons after it started airing. And releasing Kakegurui in 2018 is going to do absolutely nothing but hurt it for your end, considering it's actually one of the most watched anime of this season. I understand the model of releasing all episodes at once keeps single watch time on your site higher, which is your overall strategy, and it's working well. I cannot stress enough how much respect I have for the bundles of original anime you are funding yourselves that you've just announced, and I'm so glad that you've made this initiative. Which is why this only applies to the shows that you license that air on Japanese TV, not ones you produce and fund yourselves, such as Blame and the upcoming Devilman that you completely own the exclusive rights for, but you can easily increase traffic and views for these shows that you license every season by simply releasing them while they air. I know you probably have a larger mainstream audience in mind and not just anime fans, but if you're going to get into the market of licensing new currently airing anime, the demographic that will appreciate it, understand it, and create significant buzz on the off chance that you do license a super hit is us, as we did with Attack on Titan, as we did with One Punch Man. And by denying this, you are not only denying this community, but you are also denying yourselves from traffic and a higher chance of having a hit show. So once again, please simulcast the anime that you license. And now to you, Amazon, which if there was someone from Netflix watching, you can skip ahead to the timestamp for my closing statement. Amazon, you recently launched Anime Strike, a separately branded service simply for anime, and you are actually simulcasting shows you have, which I appreciate. The main criticism with your service, however, is a bit more complicated to fix, as it is mainly based on your pricing structure, but it essentially boils down to this. Please provide a single separate pricing plan for Anime Strike. At the moment, to get access to your service, your customers need to have an Amazon Prime account, which is $10 a month, and then pay an extra $5 on top of that to get Anime Strike, totaling at $15 a month or $160 a year compared to the $60 a year your major competitors offer. That is $15 a month to essentially simulcast your exclusive seasonal titles, because you know most of the value in that price goes into your exclusives, as your overall selection at the moment, to put it bluntly, is far more limited than what your competitors offer at a lower rate. And this right here is the mentality you are fighting against when the vast majority of anime fans view your service. Because really, thinking about it, all the benefits you get for that $15 with all the other services you provide overall is completely worth the price, in my opinion. The problem lies with your pricing structure and buyer psychology, because to us, we don't see all the other benefits in that $15. Many people are only interested in anime, and $15 is an extremely high entry barrier. From the perspective of us anime fans, it feels like we are just an afterthought, a quick cash grab on top of all the other services you provide, and because of this there is an air of negative stigma within the community when we see your service. At the moment, your model only targets people who have an existing Prime account, which makes sense that you want to market your other services. However, rather than incentivizing people to get a Prime account for these exclusive titles, you are alienating anyone who doesn't, because unlike your HBO service, for example, which has HBO Go as an alternative, for your exclusive anime there is no alternative for audiences to go to, and because of that, this entry barrier smells of greed. By simply offering the choice of having a single pricing plan just for Anime Strike, you can hit every demographic. You are already marketing to a niche, and by making this niche even smaller, you are preventing your own market from growing. You know how valuable these exclusive titles are, but by alienating the market who sees the value in them, who really wins? The pirates. You can even price the Anime Strike only plan more. If you don't want to sell it at the base rate of $5, you can maybe even take it as high as $7 a month. Then make it so if you have an Amazon Prime and an Anime Strike package, it is the $15 you are offering now. That is far more appealing to everyone, because the point is the consumers have a choice and you are incentivizing people to use all your services rather than alienating them. And I guarantee you will have a far larger share of the market by simply offering this choice, while also getting rid of that negative stigma. There have been other criticisms of your service, but right now, this is the biggest and most pressing problem our community feels needs fixing. So I reiterate, please provide a single separate pricing plan for Anime Strike. Now, I understand at the moment that we are just a niche market compared to all the other shows and services you provide, which is true, but anime is growing at a rapid rate, and you must realize this too if you're willing to invest the money you have to get a foot in this industry. So I ask, what is the point of investing your hard-earned money into this market, this community, this fandom, if you aren't going to see the true return on the very demographic you are marketing these services towards? It's not out of willingness on our end, I can assure you, as I'm certain some of your competitors in this sphere can attest to, but it is out of a lack of understanding of our community at large, which I am hoping you now have a better idea of. By not providing a service the community is satisfied with, it is not so much you are taking revenue away from your competitors, it is more you are putting that traffic to illegal sources that hurt the industry, and you are also stunting the possible growth of these shows and fandom, and thus the markets you could possibly have. I say this as someone who does want everyone to do the best best they can and promote healthy competition between companies. As I fear as it is now, the industry will take a step backwards rather than continuing to take that step forward. So that is why I hope this message finds the right person or people, because I'm not sure what the right way to contact either Amazon or Netflix are. Both companies are so big, I don't even know what the right point of contact is for these suggestions. So all I can do is send this video to the appropriate feedback forms and also send it to their corresponding Twitter accounts, and I'm sure many fans who share my sentiments and have seen this video will do the same in hopes that I could make a change. It's a long shot, I know. You are both multi-billion-dollar companies with your own models and strategies, but if our community don't even try to make a noise, there is absolutely no hope that will ever get heard. So to any customer service workers or social media managers on the Twitter accounts, all I ask if you get this far is that you do everything you can to get this to the right person or people when you are discussing public feedback, so that even if the companies don't do everything I've suggested, at the very least if we can get some kind of acknowledgement and feedback so we know that our voices were heard. As I know from my own corporate experience that change takes a long time in these big companies. It's a long shot, but hey, it's at least worth a try. Also, just in case there is anyone who thinks I'm doing this for a quick monetary gain, I've removed all ads from this video and any potential sponsorships I could have had, as I just want to get the message across. To anyone else watching this isn't a call to boycott these services, nor is it one to promote piracy or harass any company. But if you do want to get your opinion out in a constructive way, I will put all additional information I can find about contacting them in the description below. Thank you for your time. Yours faithfully, a frustrated but hopeful and passionate anime fan.